a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We love helping you win in any marketplace. We do that by bringing on all types of great expert contributors, local area show, support the local economy by supporting our local area business owners. And we greatly appreciate you for doing that. ConsumerQB.com, and also hit the hotline up. Any calls or questions, concerns you have, we'd love to put you on the burner there and have these questions relayed to our experts right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Sean Febre in the house today. He is an entrepreneur. He's a podcaster as well as founder of Febre Frameworks. We're going to have him on as well, talk about his popular podcast now called Happy Hour Holidays. Also, Brian Holloway is an NFL alumni, former New England Patriot, and also a professional speaker and entrepreneur. We're going to have him on as well as Shane Socash, David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin, rounding out our expert contributor panel for today's show. Also, Elon Musk, Mark Cuban in a Twitter fight. We're going to play a little clip about that. Kind of interesting what they're talking about there with the DEI cult. It's going to be. We'll play a clip. We'll get Sean's take on that as well. So here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, a couple of hot listings here. We'd like to feature our real estate properties live on air. Part of our strategy to help sellers sell faster for more money. We got a property here on 50th Avenue in St. Pete, 3864. We just did a price reduction. Owner is super motivated here. He wants the deal to happen. 3864 50th Avenue South in St. Petersburg. We just did a price reduction here on this property. Now, this is a completely renovated property close to Maximo Marina down south. So it's St. Petersburg down south, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1659 square feet. Fully remodeled. You have updated bathrooms, kitchen that features stainless steel appliances, tiled backsplash in an island. You also are a block away from Maximo Marina and the Tiki Docks. And the photo is compliments of Febre Frameworks.
Yeah, I was about to say, those photos look good,
beautiful,
man.
Right? Yeah, see? That's a nice property there. 3864 50th Avenue South. Also, $3 million listing of ours at 2907 North Florida Avenue. And you can check out the drone photography compliments of Febre Frameworks on this one. 2907 North Florida Avenue, 12,000 square foot heated. You got total square footage 12,000. You have 2 buildings on site. Now, one of the buildings is perfect for a retail. It used to be a fishing supply store. So you got a large open area. You also have offices up front for your C-class, your executives, your secretary, and also a separate building that's rented out. So you got positive cash flow coming in around $6,500 a month at 2907 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. 0.72 acre large lot, corner lot location, close to downtown Tampa. Fresh paint and just a great opportunity. 2 different buildings on site.
Beautiful wood accent walls as well.
Isn't that? I mean, look at that, dude. Beautiful property right there in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Hey, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
That's right. Shout out to our veterans out there, raising our glass to those saving our ass overseas, as they say, Sean.
Red, white, and
there
blue,
we go.
baby.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sean Febre in studio, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. And I want to start off the show like this, all right? A lot of people, I don't know if you guys know, but the Consumer Quarterback Show is on YouTube, guys. So you got to go out there. You got to smash that subscribe button. You got to go on Facebook. You got to follow him. He's putting out good short-form content on those social media platforms. Guys, do not sleep on it. Go on social media and follow the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Thank you so much. And while you're at it, go smash up on that Happy Hour Holidays as well.
Oh,
That's
you're making me blush.
Podcast.
Now you're making me blush, Brandon.
How do you like working with your brother? I mean, I know it's.
I've been doing it for 7 years, man.
It's got to be nice, right? You get family mixed in there.
Yeah, my brother's my best friend, right? Yep. Next to my wife, of course. Please don't hate me, Jen. Yeah, man, we get along because we're opposites. Yeah. They say opposites attract. You know, he's more of the people person kind of guy. So a lot of people like him. Me, I'm more analytical. I tend to overthink things, and sometimes you need opposite opinions in order to formulate a good plan. And that's kind of how it goes down with me and my brother. Man, I love it. I love it. And he's the host of Happy Hour Holidays. I'm the co-host.
There you go.
That's what I am.
And you're the technician behind the scenes putting everything together, so that plays into it as well.
It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, but thank God AI has pretty much taken over a lot of stuff
Yeah.
for us, like editing the entire podcast. I don't edit it at all.
So how do you do that? How does AI edit it though?
I'm going to give you guys a little secret here.
There you
I'm going
go.
to give you guys a secret, and
like
you can
it.
even make a business out of this. Who knows if anybody will. So there's something called autopod.ai.
Okay.
So as long as you have separate audio tracks for every individual speaking, and you have separate camera angles for every individual speaking, you can even have multiple individuals in one camera angle, and you just type in who's speaking on the audio track, who's in the video, and it'll just cut it to whoever's speaking, because it's taking that multi-track audio and cutting it at that specific part. Now, on top of that, to do the short form content, this is beautiful. You upload it to YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. And then you take the YouTube link and you put it to opus.pro, opus.pro, and it will read, quote unquote, read. It will look at the entire video, and and you can choose whether it's a less than 30 seconds, 30 seconds to 60 seconds, or 90 seconds plus, and it will just automatically spit out what it thinks is good short form content, and then it scores it based on what it thinks its virality score is.
Wow.
So it goes anywhere from 99 all the way to 0. So, I mean, it cuts all the editing away, at least the video editing. I mean, I still have to create the thumbnails and things like that, but for the most part, you know, if you're on Fiverr and you want to make some money, you can literally just buy the $20 version of autopod.ai and advertise that you're editing podcasts for people, as long as they fill out those criterias where it's separate multi-track audio.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a little snippet of advice for you where you can make some money and you really don't have to do much work. You can just send it over to them for whatever they want to do. And if you want to add more money, Opus is just as cheap. It's only like $288 a year for like 84 hours of content it reads. And all it does is spits out those reels. So then you could charge like maybe $100 a reel. And then you could charge like $300 for editing the podcast.
Wow.
And you don't have to do anything because AI does it all.
So you're able to create those reels, which is perfect for the short-term burst on Facebook, Instagram, etc. And that's what's very popular now. You notice a lot of times people just kind of scroll through and they'll listen to 10 seconds of that one or maybe 30 seconds of that one, and they're scrolling through. So that's a way for you to grow your social media.
Right?
Right, yeah. You check out the different people you're interested in, and then one that you like, you'll say, oh, well, I'll subscribe to that one, and you're subscribing. So I think that's a way that people, it's a strategy there to grow your subscriber base. If you just joined us, we're talking with Sean Febre. He's the founder of Febre Frameworks and also co-host of Happy Hour Holidays.
And I also
podcast.
want to say this about Opus is that it gives you a title for your short. Okay, so then you take it a step further. All right, buy ChatGPT 4. Okay, buy ChatGPT 4. Please do. It makes your life so much easier. So then what you do is you go to ChatGPT, you type in, this is the guest talking about copy, paste title. This is what he said or she said, semicolon, comma, or quotes. And then Opus transcribes the whole short form content. Boom, copy, paste, optimize for Instagram, put 25 hashtags, and be elaborate and detailed and use emojis.
Wow.
And then it just, boom, there's your caption.
And use emojis. I like that. That's really cool, man.
It's insane, man. AI is gonna, you can either use it as a tool or you can be afraid of it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be afraid of AI, man. AI is literally the future.
Well, some people do have a counter argument
I know you're
to
afraid
that.
of it, Brandon.
Well, no, I mean there's a counter argument to it that says it's invasive and it will
Invasive,
pull
how
data.
so? Please
I don't know.
elaborate.
I'm not the tech person that knows all that, but I'm just saying there's a generality of people that have that.
Like give me the generality, man. What do you mean invasive?
Well, once it's on your computer, now it has access to all your files. It has access to.
It's not on your computer.
To
You don't
like and share.
download it. It's on the website. And then if you're worried about invasiveness, let's talk about your phone. What kind of phone you got?
Yeah.
What kind of phone do you have?
iPhone.
iPhone? Okay, iPhone's probably the most private phone, but
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
That's the only downside I hear.
don't be afraid of it, Brandon. You're afraid of it.
No, our company, Livian, is a division of Keller Williams. We talked about when I was on your show, the podcast.
Yeah, Livian.
And Livian Coastal Elite is our team. We grew 60% last year in a down market. So we're using all these tools. We're using it, but I'm speaking just in different any.
What do you think about the market, by the way? Huh?
Yeah, I like the market.
I heard the Fed's going to cut the rate by 2.5 basis points over the next year. Do you believe that?
Well, they scheduled they kind of double talked too in a sense, but they said they were going to start cutting rates. And what happens is that sometimes people have a misconception that is going to equal an equal cut on mortgage rates, which it does, and it affects the overnight lending rate, which banks receive money from the Federal Reserve. And a lot of this is cooked into it's more of a relationship with the bond market. But yeah, overall, generally speaking, we're in a good position, man. We're especially in Tampa Bay, the Gulf Coast region of Florida, our listening audience, the audience we listen to and work with a lot. I think we're in a great position. You still have low inventory, Sean. You have low inventory. It's like 1.5 months supply of inventory.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's not a balanced market.
Right?
It's an unbalanced market still because so many people are still moving from northern states coming down.
So let's say that the Fed does cut the interest rate by 2.5%, right, or 2.5 basis points. What is going to happen to inventory then, right? Is it going to get smaller or is it going to get bigger for the audience members out there? What does interest rate cuts do for the general population of homeowners?
Well, I think what you see is you have pent up demand,
and
so
you're going to have home values.
Yeah, you're going to have pent up demand. So when it drops rates, it's going to be about 1/4 point to 1/2 point. Then what happens is that's essentially going to reduce the mortgage rates. That's going to cause more people to get into the buyer pool, and you're also going to have sellers that have been waiting to sell going to jump in. So it could balance itself out in a sense, but it is going to create more competition because there's going to be more sellers and more buyers. In each pocket, it's so different. It's so rural, right? Local, not rural. South of Kennedy, for example, that's a completely different market than north of Kennedy in South Tampa, right? Or Carrollwood versus Palm Harbor, right? So there's a lot of differences there based on geographic locations, but the key is pairing with a real estate agent that knows the market, a realtor that's going to be able to, help you in terms of negotiation. Because as you've been in real estate for a long time, from the capacity of owning a real estate, there's always good, better, and best in any industry. And if you get with an average or ordinary basic realtor, you could be leaving money on the table. You could be making huge mistakes. And there's a lot of bad advice that floats around out there, Sean.
There's also a lot of people that you mentioned selling their house because they were waiting to sell their house before interest rates drop. Now, what would you say to individuals who own a home who literally think to themselves, okay, well, if I do sell my house for top dollar, that means that anywhere else I go, I'm going to be buying a house for top dollar. Where do I go now? What do you tell those people? Because I'm kind of in the same situation. I'm like, yeah man, I see the value of my house going up, but I'm like, okay, well, I sell my house. Now I either have to move further outside of Tampa, or buckle down and buy something in Tampa. But then you're going to get something much smaller the closer you get to the city. Yeah. And you mentioned south of Kennedy. Yeah, south of Kennedy is great, but you also see people tearing down small houses, building big houses in those areas. Infill building is what they call it. What do you say to those people that are scared to sell their house?
Yeah, well, that's a concern that people have, especially if you're leaving a Pinellas County, for example, one of the most densely populated counties in the nation, in the southeast for sure. But I think you can find value in Pasco. You can find value in Hernando and Citrus counties, Ocala. The further north you go, and generally speaking, the more value you're going to get, the more bang for your buck, the larger lots, the larger room sizes. So if that's what you're looking for and you work from home, that might be an option. If you've got to be close to downtown Tampa, for example, that may not be as good an option for you. But I do like the idea of what you brought up. Buying a rehab property, renovating it, adding on a room, or knocking it down or buying vacant land and then starting from scratch like my wife and I did. We built our dream home about 6 years ago.
That's actually something that my brother wants to do. He wants to sell his house, buy vacant land, and build what he told me was like 4 townhouse units, live in one of them.
There you go.
Rent the 3, and just, live in that townhouse just to make that passive income. And then once those property values go up, sell the whole thing.
Sell it and retire.
I mean, it literally is. Our goal in life should be passive income. That's what it should be. If you bought your first home, you should be thinking about, how can I buy a second home? How can I buy a third home? How can I buy an apartment complex? How about we
it.
build an apartment complex?
Yep.
Now, instead of, and they don't have to be big units because the majority of apartments are somewhere like in the neighborhood of 750 square feet, right?
Yeah, small side up to 1,200.
One with a kitchen. I mean, you're talking about 4 mother-in-law suites stacked on top of each other, and just make sure that you have good infrastructure like the roadways and things like that, maybe amenities, and now you could charge more. Where's it located?
Yep.
I mean, if I were to do it, and the only place feasible for my budget would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of like Dade City. What do you think about Dade City?
Yeah, I think it's a great market. I think it's an emerging market. I like the fact that it's got, you've got everything there still. You got your major roadways. You got of course shopping. You're very close still to the Wiregrass malls and all those areas there. Zephyr Hills, that whole area is blowing up. It's a great opportunity up there as well.
It's crazy. I was driving down Knights Griffin Road, which is in Plant City. And I've never seen this sign in the last 3 years. It said homes from the low 200s.
Yeah. And
it was townhomes right off of I-4, Knights Griffin. They're parallel.
Yep.
And there's a brand new build neighborhood there building townhomes for the low 200s. Yeah. I haven't seen a sign like that in 3 years.
It's funny.
I don't know about you.
A lot of people don't realize Polk County is number 1 in the country in terms of growth and number 7 in the state. Polk County, right here between
Grady Judd.
Right, Grady Judd. That's what everybody said. Right here between Orlando and Tampa. I mean, it's a great market. We got about a minute left, Sean. I want you to plug your happy hour holidays and also Febre Frameworks. Shout out to Jeanette and Savannah and Manny, the whole team over there. They do a great job. Amanda with our real estate photography. They do a great job.
Yeah, man. Check out Febre Frameworks, FebreFrameworks.com. Febre spelled Febre. Frameworks, exactly how it sounds. Real estate photography. We service the majority of Florida. Check out our podcast, Happy Hour Holidays. Super stoked about that. Where we talk to entrepreneurs, industry experts, and people with interesting life stories. We've had some guests from this show actually on. We've had you on. Check out Brandon Rhymes' episode where he actually talks about himself, whereas on this show, he always talks with the guests. So now you can hear a little bit of background about him.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. How do they find it?
On happyhourholidays.com, on all socials, all platforms, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you can Google, that's where it's at.
Wherever your podcasts are available.
That's
Sean
right.
Febre, longtime friend of the show. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
Problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with NFL alumni and professional athlete, former professional athlete, Brian Holloway. He's also a professional speaker and entrepreneur. We're going to have Brian on the show here after this break. Stay with us. That's right. Go Bucks. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And